this, our very first episode of Girl Talk for this new season. I'm Kaye, Sera, and as you can see, we're actually filming this one live to tape in our illustrious studio. Don't be surprised if one of the flats falls over halfway through, but at this point of time, I would like to welcome my first guests. Tamara and Kate, welcome to Girl Talk.
Hi. Thank you.
You're very creative people. You're involved in the Lesbian Artworks 3, which is coming up in October. Now, Tamara, you've been involved with it in this event before.
For a couple of years.
Couple of years. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yep. In about late 1995, a group of women got together and decided that they'd hold an exhibition for lesbians to put their artwork in. And 96 was the first exhibition, and it started off with just a weekend, 2 days of visual art and performance art as well. Then in 97 we had 4 days, and now this year we've got almost 3 weeks of visual and performance art and a whole range of workshops as well.
So it's really expanded.
It's a festival, almost.
It's a very little
mini festival. Yes, it's a little one. Yeah.
Exciting times. Where is it? I mean, it's not for a couple of months yet, but we're actually canvassing for people to become involved.
Yeah, any women who've got some artwork at home, that we're encouraging all women to, you know, give us a call and put in their artwork, whether it's visual or performance art. And it's sort of a community event. It's not an art-based event. It's for all lesbians. If they just create something at home, and they want to share it with other women, then come along.
So this is very important. So people don't actually have to be practicing artists to participate in this event.
No, not at all.
It's of a community spirit.
Yeah.
So where is it actually held? Location?
It's
Kate?
at the Brunswick Mechanics Institute, which is on the corner of which is it, Sydney and Glen Lyon Roads?
In Brunswick.
In Brunswick,
yeah.
Yep.
It's a Brunswick event.
Yeah.
Is it a collective?
We
It's a collective.
We can use the word collective.
Yeah.
There is a collective of women who organise the event, and there's about 10 of us this year, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, we work throughout the year to do it.
Okay. Now we've already canvassed what type of works of art we like to see: performance and visual art.
And film as well, film, animation, that kind of stuff. Last year we had some animation, not a huge amount, so we'd love some more film and video and animation, but any performance, any visual stuff, yeah.
And a diversity of visual art as well. I mean, it could be works on paper, canvas, wood. I mean, it's just very diverse. And there's a diversity, I think, of the sorts of women that are contributing in terms of skill, like level of skill as well, and it's just open to everyone. So.
What kind of feedback do you get from this event? I mean,
Heaps of feedback. We get 40 pages in the feedback book, which is really nice. Everyone seems to have a really good time and really positive and really happy that it happens. It's a huge sort of event on the lesbian calendar. Last year we had about 500 women at the opening, so it was
so
like
many people.
Packed.
It was packed.
It was very packed.
And it was almost overpacked, which sort of made us, we came to the decision this year then to spread it out so that there's now an opening night of visual art, which is the first night, and then on the Saturday, which is the second night, there's an opening of performance art, so that way there's a little bit more focus on each separate thing, because it was so busy, but it was so fun, but it was very busy last year, and so
this year we're having the opening of the visual, opening of the performance, and then we'll close the event too with a sort of an ending night party with visual art as well and performance art.
Where do you get your support from? Who's helping you with this event? Who's funding?
Moreland City Council generously gave us...
That sounds a little bit too much like a flag. But we want them to fund you again next year, don't we? With more money.
Well, they've been really generous. They gave us the gallery space. We just have to hire the performance space, and it's a really lovely space. It's a really nice community-based space, so it really suits our purposes.
And they just painted it.
Yeah, they painted it. It looks gorgeous. You know, it's really lovely. So
probably leftover paint. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
No.
Moreland City Council.
Very nice, very generous. It was so nice to have a local council support a lesbian event. It was it was really nice. Yeah.
Well, of course, we are having a huge art fest here in Girl Talk, and we were just talking about Kate, this is your work behind you here, and you were saying that the figure with the blue shirt is your mother?
My partner's mother.
Your partner's mother.
And so I've done a series of paintings about sort of her life, starting from before she came to Australia and then met her husband, who was
Okay.
abusive.
And what does the button say?
It says women are on the move.
Women on the move.
Yes.
Sounds a bit like the Victorian, you know, Jeff's Victoria on the move.
Victoria
now.
on the move, yeah.
It's very beautiful, this piece. No, it is, and I know that you've just finished it. Is that right?
Yeah, I actually finished it today.
So it's still,
fast.
yeah,
It dries fast because it's acrylic. Yeah.
fresh off the press. Can we look at some of the other
Yeah.
pieces?
Yep.
Because we're kind of time is upon
Have a
us.
look at, have a look at
So
this one. This
that's
is Tamara,
this over here.
which is lovely. It's Tamara's.
Tamara, this is one of your pieces. And now tell me about this. I'm particularly interested in the media.
Yep, well, it was in last year's exhibition actually, and it's menstrual blood on cotton paper.
Okay.
And
This is your
That's
menstrual blood on cotton paper.
yes.
It's very beautiful. Everything's gone silent because we've broached a taboo subject here, haven't we? But it's obviously, I mean, it's deliberately personal. This is a very personal approach to art. How about the design? Did you?
Well, I like sort of heavy Victorian kind of imagery, so it's sort of
Okay.
a very thin reference to that, and it's sort of, it's a decorative piece, but it's called the girl shell, and it's just sort of a bit of fun. Actually,
very-
it's sort of, it's just about the nice things about being a woman.
Yeah, and it's representative of the style of your work.
Yeah, most of it's like that. Yeah.
Can we have a look at
Yes.
some of Kate's,
Catherine,
Catherine's work
yes.
down here
Yeah.
as well?
We've got these pieces by a woman who was in last year's exhibition as well,
Okay.
and her name's Catherine Hurst. And
So we'll just
these are
that's it.
this one.
Oh, is it? Which camera are we doing this to? I can't remember. Okay.
We're changing.
Yeah.
So these are Catherine's,
Yes.
and she'll be in this year's exhibition as well.
Okay.
Last year she had some sort of crocheted sort of bodies, which were quite fascinating. It was similar to the drawings. But
And Catherine
Oh,
is
yes, I
actually,
remember.
Catherine's a professional artist, we need
she
to say.
is.
So,
She is. Yes.
but we did want to
Yep.
say that this event is not exclusively for professional artists. That
She's
right.
actually one of the
Okay.
few professional artists. I mean, there are a couple of professional artists, but most of the exhibitors and performers are just women who want to share something with other women. So there's that, and we've also got
That's what we got.
another.
It's like show and tell.
It is.
It's
It
really
is.
exciting.
And then we've got this, which is coloured pencil.
Yeah.
And
It's
this
a big
is
one.
by Rhonda Stewart.
Maybe, yeah, that one
Yeah.
there. That's Louise's
It's an apple.
camera.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
It's a
Gorgeous.
drawing by Rhonda
This-
Stewart.
And this
She's,
is Rhonda Stewart, and this is done with
a pencil, sort of like a
okay.
wax
Coloured
pencil.
pencil.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We're almost out of time.
I know.
Oh, what a shame.
So look, I would like to thank you for coming in, and we need to say that this is Lesbian Artworks 3. The event is happening in October.
Yes.
And any women who want to participate can contact the Bent TV office, and I'll give the number now, and I'll also give it later on in the show, but it's 9663 5902. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for
And
having us.
Thank you, and stay tuned for our door knock interview with Jamie Lee Sky.
See here in Collingwood. It's rather a rough area, but we have come along to this lovely pub. It's called Jocks, and we've come to do our backstage segment. So come this way. Now, I believe he's at home. I just knock on the door. Hi. Oh, hello there. Hi, Jamie. How lovely. Yes.
How are you?
Gosh, I'm so pleased that we caught you in.
Oh, this is such a surprise here at Jocks Bar.
And so this is your little gig here.
Friday nights, yes, we host Perfect Partners, Natasha Lust and myself. And of course, we've got Miss New Drag 1998, the talent quest on.
Oh, exciting times. Can we come in and see your backstage?
Oh, yes, Kay, we'd love to have you in.
In we go. It's quite a long corridor, isn't it?
Oh, yes, Kay, come this way, come this way. This is very backstage, right back.
Jamie Lee, look at this photograph here.
Oh, yes, isn't he heaven? Oh, I need like one of those permanently, like. Actually, I own one, it's okay.
Do you? Do you? A blow-up version? This is your little dressing room here.
This is our dressing room, and our venue manager, of course, Guy, is in here.
Here as well. Hi there. Isn't that lovely?
Guy, Kay.
Yes, that's Guy.
He manages all our shows, does all the music, manages the whole venue on behalf of John and David, who own Jocks.
Well, I'm really speaking to my intellectual equal.
Oh, well, obviously so, Kaye.
Because you do have quite a number of degrees up your sleeve.
Oh, yes, yes, I do have a couple of little qualifications here, and it's actually Dr. Jamie Lee Skye.
A doctorate?
Yes, a doctorate.
Jamie Lee, does this come in handy in the drag world?
Not really.
No.
No.
You don't use it really.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Only counselling those tragic old drag queens because it is in psychology, Kaye.
Now, Jamie Lee, I did want to get a little bit personal, if I may.
You may, Kaye.
Yes, because I did read in Brother Sister that you do have 2 children.
I do. That was when I was a boy before the silicon and the net downstairs. Kaye.
Oh, really?
Yes. I do have a 17-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter.
Okay. This is very, very 90s, I think, you know, the family and also the gay thing.
Oh, yes, I do have a husband now, of course. Very beautiful. His name's David,
Yes.
as I think I told you before. And he does work here at Jocks. He's a barman behind the bar.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Yes. Now, how do your children feel about your occupation?
My daughter, she doesn't mind. She knows I'm an entertainer. My son knows I'm an entertainer. My son's big on drinking VBs, tattoos and crew-cut hair. He will never get in the car if there's a wig or nails in the front seat.
He's a bloke.
He's a real boy, yeah. What can you expect with a father like me?
Jamie Lee, I have so enjoyed our little chat.
Okay, it's been fabulous. Thank you for coming to Jocks Bar.
Position in a one-night stand.
Get up,
I'll only call you after if you say I can.
get up. Let a woman be a woman and a man be a man. Get up.
If you want to, baby, here I am.
I think that the way the world works, the way the human world works, is that we fall in love. And if you're lucky, you fall in love. And then, you know, it shouldn't matter who the person is. You know what I mean? If it's a woman or a man or whatever, it shouldn't really matter. But people who are strictly tied to an identity, it does matter. It was just the second day of my period. I'm like, oh, I'm not bleeding now. So I go out, I do the whole show, get to the end of the show, and it's 2 shows. I've been on stage for 6 hours. I'm really tired. And I go to say my thank yous, because we thank everyone, you know. And I said to the audience, I said, I'm so tired. And then I went, you'll never believe what happened to me. And I turn around and I look at the dancers, and Pax's eyebrows are up to here. Lita and Kenny, who know me really well, have worked with me for 4 or 5 years, they're both going like this, like, don't you dare. And I went, and I turned back to the audience and said, oh, I can't tell you, because Lita and Kenny are mad at me. And Lita and Kenny go, well, now that you've said this, you've got to say it. And I said to the audience, I said, well, I finished doing the last show. I went backstage. Pax comes up to me and he said, did you drop a tampon on the stage? And you just hear the women in the audience screaming. And I turned to Pax and I said, on the stage, I said, Pax, where was it? And Pax goes, well, it was over here. And I said, you're kidding me. I said, it was over there. I said, really? And the audience is watching over. I said, it was right here. I said, well, what did you do? He goes, well, I just kicked it back off the stage. And the audience is screaming with laughter. And I'm like going, well, where did my period go? I said, oh, yeah, my period. I said, there wasn't much blood on it, was it? And Pax goes, no, there wasn't much blood. And I said, where's my period? Where is it gone? And the guy in the audience yells out, it went to Moomba. Queer culture would encompass to me the realizations of a diverse group of people about what it is to be discriminated against, about what it is to be denied your individuality. And based on that would be the empathy and compassion to see themselves in all people, and to have a deep belief in the desire to have fun with meaning, you know, not just mindless fun, but fun with meaning, and that the queer culture should, in my mind, lead the way in the world for the evolution of the human race.
Welcome back. Of course, this is Girl Talk. I am Kaye, Sera, and joining me in the studio now is Jonathan or John? I don't even know. John Cole. Jon Cole. John, you're associated with Amnesty International.
Yes.
And you've come in to talk about, it's a new group that's part of Amnesty International.
Yeah, it's the Amnesty Sexuality Human Rights Group, and we're actually the Victorian group for gays, lesbians, bisexuals and transgender people within Amnesty, for members who are within Amnesty. And basically we're just the Victorian section of a national network of gay and lesbian activists within Amnesty International that link up with Amnesty International activists in Germany and Sweden and around the world.
This group is actually, it is quite new. Amnesty haven't taken on board as their charter sexuality issues before in the past. Have they or have they not?
No, they haven't directly. It's been a long history. There's been different fights about it in the past, but we're a worldwide organisation and we're a consensual organisation, so the countries that are cool about giving equal recognition to the human rights of people who are not straight are fine about it, but we also have within our membership countries that have very repressive laws and that actively discriminate or execute people who are active on the human rights for people who are
Really?
Yeah, there's some pretty appalling things happening around the world. So there is reform that's happening, and Amnesty at the moment is active on it already within the realm of sexuality is within your right not to be discriminated against on the basis of sex.
Yeah. This might be a good time to just give a bit of background on Amnesty International. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, sure.
So, because it's a name that has been around for a while, but when did it all begin?
It began in the 60s, basically because a man in Britain felt that there wasn't enough recognition given to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is a document that came out of the United Nations, one of the founding documents, which guarantees everybody's rights as human beings. Political rights, the rights to an education, the right to grow up without war, the right to have fresh water, the right to not have your land stolen from you by your landlord, for example. They are universal, they're not just a Western concept, and they're things that we should be using today to fight the battles we need to fight to make sure that people get access to those rights.
So it's all about equality, really? It's
about equality, equal treatment.
So what are some of the actions that Amnesty have taken in the past? They've been very active.
Yeah, Amnesty has evolved from mostly being involved with prisoners of conscience, and a prisoner of conscience is somebody who's been imprisoned because they've spoken out according to their belief or their religion or their sex, and in our case their sexuality. As long as they don't advocate violence, Amnesty will mobilise worldwide pressure to release those people and have them have the focus put on the prison they're being kept in, have the focus being put on the politicians in that country that's keeping those people in prison. But Amnesty has developed further to actually be involved in the other things that happen to people around the world that are pretty bad, like death squads, people just disappearing, which is, governments not being responsible and protecting their citizens, and also things like female genital mutilation, things where your human rights are compromised and the governments of countries should be doing more, and they need to be pushed to do that.
I noticed that the logo for Amnesty is the candle. With the barbed wire around it. It's a very poignant symbol, I think. Does that come from that kind of that prisoner of conscience thing, Because candle's kind of like freedom, isn't it? And then you've got the barbed wire.
We were talking about that, trying to get the right angle on it, and somebody in the audience said it was the vigil connotation, and basically it's remembering you have to look after a candle, otherwise it'll blow out or it'll burn down, and it's being vigilant and looking after that candle, making sure it's not ignored, and bringing warmth and light to people, and it's surrounded by barbed wire because the world can be pretty repressive for people who are gay, lesbian, transgendered in particular. A lot of the expressions of homosexuality culturally around the world are involving transgressing gender and putting on the clothes or the identity of another sex.
So some
and
of the
those
freedoms
people,
that we take for granted is not the case in other countries.
not the case, and if you stand out, you get locked away very easily in gays, lesbians.
So I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't. But for some countries in the world, they wouldn't even let me dress like this.
No,
it'd be terrible.
That's. I mean, it's illegal, and you can be, find yourself dead because of it. There's a transgendered activist in Turkey at the moment who won't take it lying down, and Turkey is a secular country. There's no laws against being transgendered, but she's routinely harassed by the police, and she does HIV education. She's an activist, and she just continually gets put in prison, and Amnesty recognises her as a prisoner of conscience. They also had a lesbian prisoner of conscience in Romania, and we campaigned for a long time to get her release and to have the law changed in Romania, and we're still campaigning to make that happen.
Okay. When you say campaigning, what form do these campaigns take?
Traditionally it's been from letter writing. Amnesty, though, is interested in engaging far more active ways of being an activist, and they want bums on seats, okay? They want people to actually be turning up and being committed with other people and writing letters to places, but they also want to get people's talents and their expertise and their interests and move forward with that in doing direct action.
Okay. There's some businesses have taken this on board. I know the Body Shop has taken letter writing in particular in their stores on board.
Yeah.
So this is very heartening as well for you.
For sure.
all,
I mean, Amnesty always gets a lot of encouragement and gets a pat on the back, and sometimes it needs to not be so self-satisfied and actually be more active and engage people more. And we want to do that, basically. That's why we've set up this gay and lesbian network within Amnesty.
Sure. And with the... what kind of response do you get from government organisations, for example? What kind of response from the federal government here in Australia?
Federal government, they're a bit annoyed with us at the moment.
Well, shaky eyes here.
Because Amnesty's actually spoken out... No, we're fine. Because Amnesty's spoken out on Indigenous rights in the current climate where Wick and Mabo are dictating the government's priorities.
Right.
Amnesty has been criticised because the government, this particular government, feels that we don't have a right to speak out. And that's, of course, garbage. We do have a right, and all members within Amnesty have an obligation and responsibility to not think of their own particular group, but have solidarity with the other groups that are being persecuted. And in Australia we have been active on Indigenous affairs, and we've copped some flack because of that.
Amnesty Sexuality Human Rights Group.
That's right.
It's a group that you're directly involved with. So how did you become involved?
Well, basically I was a member, and I thought that Amnesty could be making louder noises about this issue, so I decided to get involved, and I'd like to encourage other people, if that's what they feel they'd be comfortable with, to do that, and they can do that by contacting the office.
Yeah, because you have the email address as
You've
well.
got an email address. It's queer@amnesty.com.au, and that'll contact you with your local group nationally. But if you're in Melbourne, basically you just need to call the Amnesty Victorian office, which is 9427 7055, and just say you want to be involved in gay and lesbian activism within Amnesty.